Happy Sunday. We're back with another Project Runway recap. That is hard to say. Yeah. I got tongue-tied a bit, but we're on episode 4. So if you haven't watched episode 4 and you want to watch it first, there will be spoilers in this. Otherwise, we're going to dive into episode 4. But I have to say this was a pretty wild one. Some things I didn't like, some things that were okay. I did like, and some things that kind of surprised me that they did.
Yeah, I have a fair amount of notes and questions more than anything.
Lots of questions. Lots of like, who made up?
Some things I question that I don't hate it, but I just don't understand. But yeah. I mean, it's not meant for us to understand, except we can sit here and wonder.
Actually, I feel like it is meant for us to understand. It's made to entertain us, and if it's just making us go, what were the producers thinking?
Yeah.
Now, I did send you a link to a news article that I saw over the weekend or end of last week, and was like, oh, we're not the only ones who have felt the same way about this new season of Project Runway, because we've talked about it on this series that we've been doing on Sunday nights of just how disappointed we are about a few things in the formatting of the show. And this news article literally was like someone read our diary or watched our live.
I mean, yeah, we are not alone.
No,
we are absolutely not alone. So, and I will say Christian Siriano has no guilt in this process, because I think he just walks on water. So all of my criticism is like other than him.
Yeah. Well, and I think there couldn't have, like, if Tim Gunn's not going to come back, and yeah, he's getting old, maybe he just wanted to not do this anymore. It's a lot, right? I think Christian Siriano was the right choice to come in as a mentor.
He's flawless as a mentor.
He's great. Yeah. So like my complaints are not with him or anything like that, but it's just like, well, we'll dive into this episode, but I want to say hello first to Karen. She says hello. And Angela, hello, Angela. If you're watching our live, please leave a comment in the chat. We'd love to see you. Yes. So what we're going to talk about today is episode 4.
Yeah.
And so one of the new formats that was in that news article that I sent you was how you know who's in, who won that challenge, but you don't know who's out until the beginning of the next episode. And that's fine if they want to do that. It annoys a lot of people. I really don't know why people still do it, because if it's a good show, we'll come back and watch the next one. We just want some closure at the end, because honestly, a week goes by, everything that we have going on in a week, I sometimes forget, like, wait, what happened last week?
We're doing this challenge. Yeah,
I know. So we do have to figure out who is out from episode 3. So if you haven't watched episode 4, that will be a spoiler for you, but we're going to go through the challenge and everything. I'm really excited. I do feel like I enjoyed this episode more than like the last 3.
Yeah, because they weren't in houses. We actually got to see what they could do on their own.
Yeah. There was no group challenge, but there were a lot of people missing from this episode.
In the editing, you mean?
Oh, no. I mean, Heidi was
judges. Yes.
Yeah, yep. Heidi was nowhere to be found. We haven't seen Nina Garcia since like the first 2 episodes. So I don't know. Like, I just feel like it was just Christian Siriano and Law Roach running this entire episode.
Yeah. And I think we'll get into that when we talk about the challenge too.
Yeah. So anyways, we're going to jump into this one, and I'm going to share my screen.
Yes, I'm at my mom's house, hence why there's a different background.
I like it though. And I like that there's like
my mom's beautiful wall hanging.
Hold on. Let's go back to share it again. Oh. That is so pretty.
Yeah. And it's one of many in her sewing studio. So
I love that. And I love that you guys are spending some time down in Florida.
Yeah.
Before we dive into this, I moved my son into college today for his sophomore year. So I literally got home an hour ago and immediately started taking my nail polish off so I could finish it when we get done. And look at you with your glass of wine.
Yep.
So we're gonna jump into this one, and we've got lots to talk about because I feel like this was kind of a high drama. They've all been very high drama. That was one of the other things noted in that news article, is like how it's just focusing on the drama or the producer curated, instigated drama, but not really like the production of these garments. So again, we're not the only ones that feel this way. Okay, let me get back over to my screen here.
Sure.
Okay, well, obviously we didn't see Heidi. She was nowhere found on this episode, which is kind of shocking because she likes to be seen. Mentor Christian was kind of running the show. We still haven't seen Nina since episode 1 and 2, but La Roche is present in this episode. And we have 2 guests that pop in for just a few moments, and then we don't see them again. And this is one of the things that confused me, but it's Chris Perfetti and Lisa Ann Walter. They're from the TV show Abbott Elementary, and I had never heard of this TV show. And then I Googled it, and it's like 5 seasons in. It started in 2021. I was like, why?
Yeah, it's a really, really successful show. I haven't watched it, but I've heard nothing but great things about it.
Okay.
Similar to this entire season, I feel like they take a step, but they don't go all the way. Kind of like the Kalia challenge, where you had the Kalia chief creative officer, if that was her exact title, was there, but then we never saw her again. Now we have Abbott Elementary, and then they're never seen again. It's just, it feels like it's like partially done, but not completely done.
They ran out of time to show them. But here's what's confusing is like they both said, like, we can't wait to see what you make, and we'll get to the challenge in a minute and why they were presenters in this. But they were like, we can't wait to see what you make, but then they never got to see what they made, or we never saw them see what they made. So Karen says she's only watched Abbott Elementary when on a plane.
I mean, it's supposed to be really funny. I haven't gotten around to
it.
So,
I don't even know how to watch it. I just Googled it because I was like, have I been living under a rock? And maybe I have, but if it's not on like Netflix or Hulu, I'm probably not going to know about it, or Prime. All right. Quick recap. These are our current designers: Joseph McCrae, Ethan, VJ, Madeline, Jesus, Joan, Yuchin, Angelo, Melania, and Antonio. Those are the ones that are left at the end of season or episode 2. Those are the ones that are left. We're going to find out who's out.
Yeah.
So we learned at the end of episode 3 when they had the mystery material, and they just take kind of like a unexciting material and turn it into something beautiful and exciting and to look at. We found out that Melania won her first challenge with this garment, and we couldn't have agreed more with the win of this one. Yeah, but we did not find out who was out from that challenge. Now, can you recall who our bottom 3 or who our bottom 3 or 2 or 3 were?
It was Ethan, Joan, and Angelo.
Yes. And I believe I was concerned that Joan was going to get out, but I was really concerned that Angelo, he's been in the bottom like every challenge. I didn't think Ethan would get out, even though I thought his was the worst.
Yeah.
So
just from past history, they weren't going to let him go.
No. And so this next slide is going to tell everybody who actually was out, because we found that out at the beginning of episode 4. And that person is Angelo. I'm not surprised by this.
I'm not surprised by it either. I think it was a fair call, as much as I don't like it, because I liked him. I think it was a fair call. Something I noted and I have my little notes here, when he was packing up to go home, he had a bag full of patterns. which made me wonder, like, either A, are they allowed to bring some of their pattern drafts from home, or B, are they allowed to take the patterns they create on the show home? Because he had like a bag full.
I saw that. They were all rolled up.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm just curious. And like I said, we don't know the answer.
That's like his sloper. Maybe it's his slopers that you start with as a pattern designer. You'll have slopers for different body types. And maybe they're allowed to use those because he is traditionally menswear. Like that's what he does outside of this show. And everything that they do in this show, for the most part, is women's wear. And all their models are women. So I think this was definitely outside of his comfort zone, this whole show.
Yeah, so I thought it was really interesting. I was just curious what that was. So
Angelo's out. He'll get the big X on next week slide. I don't like to put it before we go through the designers because then it tells you who's out. Yeah. But it's so tempting to just go ahead and put that on him. All right, so episode 4. Oh, I don't know what happened to my little picture. I had a cute little picture here.
Nah, it's okay.
Anyways, episode 4 was all about unconventional materials. It was an individual challenge. Finally, we've had 3 group challenges. So we finally have an individual challenge, but it was still a 1-day challenge. And here is something that they twisted in. There was only going to be one judge, and it was blind judging. And what they mean is the judge would not know whose garment was who until after they had made their decision of which ones were the best. So they were truly more unbiased. Like they probably had some that they were like, well, I obviously know whose that is. But I would say with this challenge, most were pretty different than what they've shown before. So it would have been hard to know whose was whose. And the designers did not know who the judge was going to be until the runway. And then the last twist, I'm going to go ahead and share this, is the judge will pick who the person that's in or the winner is, and then they'll pick the bottom 3, but then the designers that are not in the bottom 3 are the ones that have to pick who is out. It's kind of a cliffhanger that we're left with, and we'll talk about that. But it was definitely a huge 180 from the last 3 episodes.
Yeah, and it was refreshing, frankly. I mean, there's some drama I think wasn't necessary, but I preferred it over the houses.
Yes, I would agree. And I would say that in this challenge, we saw more of the design process. And I think part of that is because we didn't have to go through this house drama of like picking houses and all of that. Now, the unconventional materials, this is where the 2 guests from Abbott Elementary came in. So as soon as episode 3 ended, that challenge ended, and they found out that Angela was going home, La Roche came in to that little gathering room that they have, that lounge area, and was like, your next challenge is starting now. Come with me. And they went to a school, into a gymnasium, and they had it set up like a science fair, but they had all these arts and craft supplies and like gym supplies. And that's where the guests from Abbott Elementary were there. And they basically told him, like, your challenge is to take whatever you possibly can. You have like 20 minutes to gather whatever materials, and you're going to have to make something from those materials. And one of the key call outs was that whatever you make, we shouldn't totally be able to identify what the original material was, or it shouldn't just be like hot gluing things onto fabric, right? Like,
and it shouldn't be a fabric. And it shouldn't be a fabric-like material. That's always been, and it comes in every year. There's always someone that's like, oh, I'm going to take kites and use the fabric and turn into a dress. It's like, no, it needs to be unconventional. You can't take a fabric and turn a fabric-like material and then turn it into a fabric for your dress or pants or shirt or whatever.
We saw some of that. So let's dive into the first design. Madeline really struggled with this challenge. Her mood was awful this entire challenge from start to finish. She was so against this. This is not her vibe. Everybody's running around the gym gathering pom-poms and pipe cleaners and all these other crazy things, right? And soccer balls and everything. And she just walked around like, none of this works for me. Like, it's just so out of left field for her. She just got in her head and just got really negative about it and just was pouting. I was like,
she was very Yeah, she was very uninspired, and I think was hoping for some aha moment that just wasn't going to happen.
No. And I don't know if these are mirrors or what.
They're stars. They're like those paper stars that like teachers like put up in a classroom.
Yeah. I never saw those in the gym, and I never saw her pick these up. So I had no idea what she was creating. I don't hate it. I don't love it on her model, but I don't think it does her model any favors, but I don't hate it. And she was really worried that 1, she wouldn't get it done, and 2, that she was going to be in the bottom 3. And I think she just had this like negative mindset going into this challenge, and she carried it all the way through.
Oh, yeah, she absolutely did. And I think she was sure she'd be in the bottom 3, which we'll get to later.
Yes. All right. The next one was VJ, and I did an up close on the shoes because these are those little.
They're shuttlecocks from badminton.
Yes. But VJ trying to tell Christian Siriano what they were in this room where she was making this was cracking me up because with her accent, she like couldn't say it properly, and he didn't know what these were actually legitimately called. It became a whole thing, and Brett was watching it with me, and we were dying laughing. I have to say that this one was one of my favorites because it's absolutely stunning, and I would have never known that that's what those were.
No.
And the fact that she went as far as to not just make a stunning gown, but also shoes.
Yeah.
Blew me away. And I didn't notice
shoes are great too.
Yeah, I didn't notice the shoes when I was watching. I noticed them when I went back to like grab photos, and that's when I saw the zoom in, and I was like, oh, I have to capture that. Like this one, in my opinion, was one of my top.
This was hands down my favorite. And Karen, I absolutely agree with you. This was absolutely my favorite.
Yes. This was by far my favorite. I thought this one should win.
Yeah, agreed.
Then there's Belania. Now, Belania started with a different concept going into hers until Christian Siriano came in and goes, we've already seen a vinyl raincoat. Like, how is this unconventional? I don't know if I quite understand what material she ended up using to make. I don't hate the outfit, but I didn't really understand what the material was.
I can't remember. They mentioned what it was, but it was not a fabric like material. I thought she did a really nice. For the challenge, she did exactly what the challenge called for. Take something that's not this and turn it into this. And I think she did she honored her style. It's a cute little thing. It's not a winner, but I think it was great.
Well, and I love that I'm sitting here going, I have no idea what that is. But it looks so good. Like that was kind of the point. It's like same with the last one. Like I would not have known those were like the badminton things until someone told me, if I hadn't known that up front. Now this one I didn't really get to see what it was, or I missed it. The only thing I didn't like, and this is just personal, and they just showed it for a split second, is when she turned around to leave, the back of the shorts like scooped down lower. Yeah. And it just made her booty look even bigger. And I mean, I get that might be the style, but I didn't love that. I wouldn't want that.
I can take that because can we talk about the fit on that top?
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know what this is, but the fit on that top for whatever this is really, really great.
Right. With like plastic material to get like those kind of seams in it, the French seams and stuff. Like it's really, or what am I trying to say? What's the word? Like the little seams that go. Help me out.
Not like pin tucks or like
no.
Anyway, it was great.
Someone in the comments
the shorts were a little loose, but overall it was a fun look.
I didn't mind the loose shorts. I just didn't like the saggy droop butt in the back. Anyways, yeah. All right, Jesus. This one actually blew me away. I thought this was going to be in the top 3 because that whole dress is made from the skin of volleyballs. Darts. Yes, Janet. Darts. Thank you. I've had a really long day. It was like 1,000 degrees outside.
I wasn't sure where you were going either.
Darts. Because she got those darts in that bralette. Do you see those?
Yeah. That's
great. Amazing. Okay, sorry. I digress. Thank you, Janet.
I mean, he fully deconstructed these volleyballs, like fully deconstructed them. It's incredible.
And then turned it into this. Now, I could have lived without the jacket.
Same.
And whatever that bullseye weird thing.
And whatever the boots are and the hair and the earrings, like, frankly, I could have done without all of it, except for the dress.
Yeah.
Because the dress said everything it needed to say.
Well, and even with the jacket, if they didn't have that like bullseye on the back, that made no sense to me. I would have not even really noticed the jacket, but that just stood out to me, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. I think it hid the dress, and I really liked the dress. I could have lived without the zip ties, but Jesus, I was very impressed with this construction of volleyballs and the time it would have taken to deconstruct all of those pieces. Yeah. There was a lot
in one day. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and my favorite part was him, like, VJ was trying in the gym to like take some of them. And I don't think it was because she wanted them. I think
she was just messing with him.
Yeah, which I actually think is hilarious. And he comes running over. He's like, "Those are my balls," and she's just like laughing. I just thought it was hilarious, like kids at the gym playing and like fighting over toys. It was ridiculous. Ethan, back to the zip ties. I don't know how many zip ties were at the science fair, but there were a lot.
I'm not hating this though. Those butterflies on this dress were absolutely incredible.
Stunning. And those zip ties didn't look like zip ties. It is like fanned out like a crown. Absolutely stunning. Lots of color, but dark and moody, very mysterious. Really, really love this. Even the back is beautiful, but I didn't get a photo shot of that. But I just wanted to get a headshot of like that head crown because I thought that was really stunning.
It was really cool.
Even the earrings. Do you see the little butterfly earrings? There's just a lot to look at.
Yep, he did. This could be a costume in a movie. It was beautiful.
Yeah, agree. Mm-hmm. Oh, Joan.
Okay, so I kind of disagreed with the negative comments on this. Like, yes, it was a little bland, and I get that. But what she did with those popsicle sticks,
I don't hate the top.
I don't hate the top but the bottom. Are you not transported back to elementary school? And
this teacher giving me PTSD. You guys know what this is, right?
They had those around the chalkboard and around the little like bulletin boards in class. Yes. Oh my God. So is it my favorite? No, but it was by far not the worst, in my opinion.
I thought it was.
There was some I thought were way worse.
I could have done with a different skirt and left the top. They're not. It looks spray painted. It
looks
like it smells like Elmer's glue.
It's better than Madeline's.
I don't think so. I thought Madeline's was better.
I think this is better than Madeline's.
I thought Madeline's was better than this.
Yeah.
I thought this was rough. This skirt is atrocious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate the feel of that, the crinkle stuff. Yeah.
I remember it vividly.
Yes. And all the colors. And I think like this one almost looks like it was like white or yellow and it was painted. And like you can see like material at the top of the skirt. Like I thought the top was really cool. But
I think it could have been better if it was like all white.
Yeah, I didn't agree with I agree with like painting it, but not going black.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was unfortunate. Antonio. There was a lot of skin shown with this outfit. And so I didn't show any image.
He made a thong out of a pennant banner.
He made a thong and some sort of little triangle bralette thingy. Out of the same material, those little the pennants, but then the same ones for the coat. Now I actually think the coat's cool.
Yeah, I can't do any of this.
Huh?
I can't do any of it.
I like the coat. And I don't like anything else about it. I think the bubbles, I think it's cool looking, but it is so see-through, and he made the tiniest little thong. But I really did like this coat.
The styling of it, which Law called out, The styling was just off, like the boots and the bag, and it was.
Yeah, the denim with this doesn't work at all, but honestly, I don't know what I would have paired with it. So I'm not one to like say maybe something clear to match the clear dress or something. I don't know, but it did take away from it. I did like the jacket though. I thought it was really fun and creative to take all those triangles and then to sew them together and to somehow symmetrically get it so that like the shoulders point up at the same place. Like how he figured to get it on her and then it like came down long like that. And then they're all stuffed, right? Like that took so much time. And I thought the jacket was cool. Just the rest of it, I was like, no. But also like the hot pink. So Jana says it looks very cheap looking. I can see that.
I think the pink color is the only thing I like about it. I mean, A, for creativity,
right?
But not a passing grade for execution.
I think if the coat had been like different color pennants, I would have not liked this. But the fact that they were all the same color made it more enjoyable.
Made it work. Yeah.
All right, Joseph.
So this is you're not supposed to use fabric-like materials in a fabric-like way. I mean, he used this science fair banner.
Yeah, he just took the whole banner and folded it over.
Just took the whole banner and turned it around. So do I hate it? No. But on the face of the challenge of you're supposed to use something unconventional, taking a banner and turning it into a dress, in my opinion, negates the challenge. And we can talk about how some of the designers felt at the end. But I'm not a fan for that reason alone. I think, it was Joseph.
I've seen hospital paper gowns cover more than this. The ones that tie in the back, like this poor girl walking down, there was nothing under that skirt.
Yeah. There's nothing under the top, I don't think either.
No, there's not. And there's nothing like holding it, the front and the back. It's like, it literally is like a paper apron over her. Yeah. I thought this one was the cheapest looking one. And the corset's not even like tightened up or anything. And then the collar being in the front and hiding like half of her face. I didn't understand that. Now he did make the bag because he had the entire banner and he barely used any of it in this garment. So he made an entire bag that was more material than what she's wearing, in my opinion. I just thought it was interesting, but it did not meet the challenge brief.
Did not meet the brief.
No. Oh, Yuchin.
Can we have another mini skirt, please?
I mean, if you didn't know this was Yuchin, have you watched the last three?
It's a mini skirt every time. These poor models are barely covered.
Mini skirt.
Every time they are barely covered.
Barely. Now, this one I did not like because I could clearly tell that these were still soccer balls. And to me, like I felt like with what Jesus did with the volleyballs and really turn it into a dress and not be able to tell that they were volleyballs to begin with, that to me met the brief. This does not meet the brief to me because they still look like soccer balls. And then he made them position so that her booty, that's why I took the screenshot of the back. One, so you could see how short it was. And two, there were two soccer balls strategically placed on the butt so her butt would look bigger.
Yeah.
I also not a huge fan of underboob, but that's just me. I mean, it looks great on her. This girl's got a rockin' body. I did not understand the helmet, the soccer ball helmet, but I did think the cutout with the eye was kind of cool. Like if you're gonna go there, like go all the way. So he literally had her covered in soccer balls from head to toe,
and he went all the way with it.
So. He did. I also didn't understand, like you can see on the chest and on the head there was like these little rods with like little balls. I don't know what that was supposed to symbolize, but it was like science fair looking. That we could have lived without those.
Yep, we could have. I frankly could have lived without a lot of this.
I could have lived without any of it. All right. I would love to know what you guys thought of the soccer ball outfit.
Yeah.
All right. So shockingly, the top 3 looks included the soccer ball outfit. And I did not agree with that.
No, and we shouldn't, again, remind folks that Law was the only judge.
Law was the only judge.
Law.
They didn't know that he was going to be the only judge, and he didn't know whose looks were whose as they came up. And here's the other thing. They didn't go to their... You can't
tell me he didn't know that was Yuchin's.
Well, I mean, come on, right? But, like, they didn't go to their traditional runway where it's, like, moody, and they're sitting on one side, and the judges are on the other side, and they know whose is whose when they come out. Like, no, they did it right there in the workroom with all the lights on, so there was no hiding anything. And I actually kind of liked that because I felt like we got a better view of the garments because of that.
I agree, and I agree with 2 of the top 3 wholeheartedly.
Yes, same. Who would have been your other third without the soccer balls? You want me to go back through them real quick?
No, it's okay. I think probably Jesus, because of that volleyball dress.
Yes, same.
That would have been my other third.
Because if you had that one in there, you wouldn't have been able to tell what any of those materials were from the start.
And that is the brief. The brief is to take unconventional materials and turn them into something incredible.
Now, this was Law's challenge. He was kind of overseeing this challenge. He took him on the field trip. They picked out. Now, he left. He like literally dropped him off and said peace out at the gym because he didn't want to see what they were picking. Which I thought was smart. And then, so like the Abbott Elementary stars were there watching them and everything, and they had fun with it. And then, like, Law Roach didn't show up again until it was time for him to be the only judge. And he's the one that kind of explained the brief to them. Like, I don't want it to look like how it started. I don't want to know what that material originally started out as. And I feel like that just wasn't the case with the soccer balls. So that was just my opinion. Now, are we ready to see who won the challenge per Law's sole judging? It was Yuchin with the soccer balls. I was so disappointed by this. I was like, what?
Well, my notes in my phone quite literally say Yuchin is his favorite ? What ? Exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point.
What is happening? Usually we can kind of like know where the judges are thinking.
I thought for sure it would be VJ. Hands down, I thought it would be
VJ was robbed of this win.
I agree.
Totally robbed. Now, the bottom 3, I do agree with. Honestly, I think I would have swapped out Antonio for Madeline.
Agreed. And Antonio, and Law called it out. He said Antonio was basically solely in the bottom because of styling. That was really, he said, like,
that's such a small part of the whole thing that
I just. Did you catch him say that? He's like, really, you're.
Yeah. I did hear that, and I honestly think Law Roach has it out for Antonio because Antonio snapped back at him a few times. Like, Antonio and Jesus have both had like a hard time receiving feedback from judges in past episodes. And so I think that Antonio has really like not left a good taste in Law's mouth with the disrespect in those situations. And I get it, but like, you can't carry that into like, so Law's like, hey, no one else is judging. I get to decide. And these are the bottom 3. I also think he thought it might be an opportunity to break up the twins.
Yeah. So this is where the designers got dropped on them that they are deciding who goes home.
Which has not happened yet this season. And I don't really remember that happening in past seasons.
As far as I do not remember it ever happening before. And Madeline, hands down, had the hardest time with it. And
you like my pictures?
I do. And you want to know why? I think because she thought for sure she was going to be in the bottom 3.
Yeah.
So the fact that she wasn't, I think she's racked with guilt.
She's racked with guilt, and now throw that pressure to pick the person going home.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm sorry, but VJ had a pretty like passionate plea of like, Joseph didn't meet the brief.
Yeah.
He basically used fabric. That's not what we're here to do.
Yeah.
And she basically said, like, that's not my choice, but the reality is that's what we should be judging on. And that's it.
Yeah.
And
like you can't make it personal because it's your brother. You can't make it personal because you're friends.
Yeah.
You can't make it personal because whatever reason. It really has to just come down to the brief. So they were really struggling with this. I don't know I don't know if they all just have to unanimously decide on one person, or if they
majority,
all just,
I think they said,
or if they all just vote and whoever has a majority vote, that is who's going on. Like, I don't know how, but they were like, Madeline was like, I cannot vote that, what is it, Joseph? I was like, I just can't. I don't agree with that. I don't, and that's where I thought VJ had a very legitimate statement of like, hey, like we have to look at the brief. And someone's like, well, I think that that's not fair. And they're like, okay, well then look at their past work as well. Okay. If you want to judge them, if you don't want to judge them solely on what they did in this challenge, look at their whole book of work for the last 4 challenges and then make your decision. But like, you cannot make it personal.
No, you can't.
And I like that she said that.
Yeah, I completely agree. And so it's going to be interesting to see what they come back and do.
And I thought that was really interesting because in this episode, they kept talking about how VJ was like, we need to separate the twins. We need to separate the twins. But then VJ's over here going, I'm not voting for Antonio because I actually liked his work. He met the brief and Joseph didn't. And she's able to set aside like her opinions and differences and frustrations with the fact that Antonio and Jesus continue to help each other in the workroom when everybody else doesn't have that support.
Yeah, it frustrates a lot of people. Yeah. And I completely understand why.
I get it, but like you could just become friends with your neighbor and become buddies and help each other out. You don't have to be related to get that kind of support in that space. So at the end of the day, like, yeah, they came in with a friend and they've always been supportive of each other. What they asked, they weren't making each other's garments. They were just asking for feedback. Like you could do with your neighbor or a friend that you've made on the show. And, there's nothing stopping you from asking someone else their opinion and feedback to help you either. Are you helping someone else? So, you could play that game or not, but I don't think them being there together is a problem, in my opinion. I think it needs to be about the brief. Now, if they were helping each other sew each other's garments, that would be an issue for me. Like you do yours, but if you want to talk about each other's and give each other support, I don't care. Like, fine, right? Like anybody could do that in the room. They're not working in private space. They're in one big space. They could all help each other out. Christian comes around and helps them out. But like, if they were doing each other's garments, I would have an issue with that. That to me is cheating. You do your work and you do work. But there were a lot of tears in this episode. At the end.
Of tears.
So
it's going to be interesting to see what happens next week.
What do you think is going to happen? Let's go back to our bottom 3. Antonio,
Joseph. I think it should be Joseph. I'm sorry.
I think it'll either be Joseph or Joan.
Yeah.
I think the room is divided if some people are really close with Joan because she's kind of been like this mother figure to some of them. She is the oldest designer in there and she's been very mothering and very much like trying to go with the flow and very much a peacekeeper. Versus Joseph, who is kind of the opposite of that, but then like he's very friendly and he's made a lot of friends as well. So I don't know. I don't think.
But he also hasn't had a home run, and he also did not meet the challenge.
No,
so,
I know.
My final comment for this episode is they finally had a Burnett logo shot for like half a second.
They didn't say the name, and they didn't show anybody spelling on it.
Yeah. So like. Again, we are 4 episodes in. There has been no Bernina mentioned, no Burnett mentioned, no sewing machines supplied mentioned. But they did finally show a logo for like half a second.
I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
But Kalia had like a good 4 to 5 second product placement in the apartment. Like how many yoga mats do they need in an apartment? I'm just curious.
I don't know because they all get up the next morning after getting their supplies at the gymnasium to go to the sewing room and start figuring out what they were going to make. But they're all like gathering together at the apartment and they're showing all their Kalia stuff. And I'm just like, I thought that was like 2 episodes ago.
Yeah. And you have yet to mention the people supplying your sewing machines. So
that we've not really seen anybody sew on, but like for a split second in the first episode. So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's, yeah. But hey, if you guys watching, I would love for you to drop your guess of who you think should go home. Of course, we won't find out until the beginning of episode 5. And episode 5 will mark halfway through the 10 challenges that make up season 21. So we're almost halfway through the season already, and I feel like we're just getting started.
Because it's a short season. I mean, it really is. I mean, they shortchanged this season in more ways than one.
Yeah, so. And I hope that they take all the feedback that they're getting and make the next one better and longer, because from that article that I had shared with you, like, there were people saying on Reddit, like, I watched a couple episodes and now I'm just like annoyed and I probably won't watch the rest of the season. And I'm like, well, if that happens, it won't be another season if they don't like. So I'm really hoping they listen to it. Janet said, Karen said, I wish they would show more actual sewing. Yes, Karen, we agree.
Agreed.
Janet says people are talking about how mad this season is if they want to watch Housewives, not this mess. Marilyn says send Joseph home, but won't be surprised if it's Joan. Yeah, I'm feeling the same way, Marilyn. Karen says based on the challenge, I think Joseph has to go.
Yeah.
I honestly wouldn't be upset if Joseph or Joan went. Neither one of them have in this series so far really done anything to like completely blow me out of the water. I would say Joseph's had some outfits that I liked a little more than Joan's, but both I think are very talented. I don't think Joan has gotten to show her talents at all in this season.
No, I don't think so either. And I do think she's got a lot more to show, where I think Joseph has shown everything he does. I feel like it's a bit, I don't want to say one note because that doesn't feel fair, but he has a very definitive style and I'm waiting to see him do something different.
Yeah. I feel like Joan's shown us something different every single time. I just don't feel like I've really seen Joan.
Sure.
I think she's just trying to stay as long as she can. And I think she's trying to play fair. You've got a lot of big personalities and voices. And sometimes those more peacekeeper people tend to get drowned out. And then they're the ones that end up in the bottom because, you know, they were trying to play fair, right? Or follow leadership. So this is why I was really excited for there to be an individual challenge. But it couldn't have been a harder one for the first individual challenge. I mean, this is like, I was looking around and I'm going, I have no idea what I would make.
Oh, I really think this was a difficult one because there's only so many things. Yeah, it would have. Yeah, there's no question. I would have been up a creek without a paddle.
Up a creek. I think Joan bit off more than she could chew with a one-day challenge with all those tiny popsicle sticks. Like, I feel like there were so many other options that she could have chosen. So,
well, we will find out on Thursday night, and we will be back here next week to talk more about it.
I know, and I'm excited. I look forward to like Friday mornings or Saturday mornings is usually when I end up watching the show, or later on Friday. But like I wake up Friday and going, there's a new episode because it comes out Thursday on Freeform, but I don't have Freeform, so I have to wait till Friday to watch it on Hulu or Disney Plus. And so that's how I'm watching. And we've had some people tune in to our Sunday Night Live recaps because they're like, I don't have any of those apps, so I can't watch it at all. And so just to be able to hear the recap and get us the snapshot of the show from us has been nice for a lot of people. So if you're enjoying this, please share it, like it, comment on it. Anything to help kind of boost it. We're really having fun with this. Audra and I've never done anything like this before, so we're really having fun with it, and I hope you guys are enjoying it too. Yeah, all the tears. We really appreciate it. And if you didn't know, Audra and I are the duo and hosts of the Sewcial Hour Podcast, and we release a new podcast every Tuesday, either here on YouTube or wherever you stream your podcast and you want to listen in. And it's all about sewing. We actually talk about sewing on our podcast, unlike this show, which I think we kind of thought we'd see more of when we decided to take this on. So
yeah. And this week's episode on Tuesday is about why we sew. And we actually came with like real data on how sewing benefits us. So make sure to tune in on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. So be sure to go subscribe to the Sewcial Hour Podcast on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast, whether it's Apple or Spotify or Google or wherever you choose to listen to podcasts. Be sure you subscribe or follow on those platforms. It really helps us out. Janet says, I'm really enjoying this very much to talk about the show. We're enjoying it too. And I would love to do more of this with other of the creative shows. So we're going to see if we can do more of this in the future. But this has been a fun one to like test the waters and see how it goes. And I'm glad you guys are liking it. So it's a fun little way to wrap up a weekend and kick off a fresh week. So I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Get some sewing time in. Be sure to tag us if you ever share anything that we would love to see or about our podcast. We appreciate it. And yeah. Anything else, Audra?
I don't think I have anything else. So I'm just going to go back and enjoy vacation for a couple more days.
Yeah. When do you go home?
Later this week.
Yeah. So I'm going to try to stay busy.
Yeah.
So I don't cause it's the first few days of dropping the kiddo off at college that I didn't cry this time. I didn't cry, but, I think these first few days or this week's going to be hard because it's going to be a lot quieter at my house. There's not going to be someone to have lunch with, and I work from home, so it'll be tough transition. But he's excited. He already saw his friends when we were there. They were all excited to see him. So I know that he's exactly where he's supposed to be, and I couldn't be happier for him. But man, it doesn't get easier.
No, it doesn't, but you're going to do great.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us on Sunday night, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye.